Okay, it's time for another video. This video is about Death Battle, the web animation series. This is what episode 200 could be. I think it's pretty good that we made it this far, that we're going to speculate about 200 despite the extra time to prepare pre-Godzilla versus Hulk versus Godzilla. This kind of snuck up on me. So I will be saying my thoughts, including some that are improvised because I spent a few days writing this down and I have some strong opinions. Basically, it's going to be two of my most preferred matchups and some extra bonus honorable mentions if we have time. Now, I'll say, you know what? I have two matchups here and a few other ones I'll briefly discuss probably. So I'll just say how likely I think they are to happen when I'm done. Okay, let's start off with our first matchup. The matchup idea for episode 200. You've heard me ramble about it before. You probably have a vague idea who one of these characters is, but you don't know who the other one is, unless you're a TV tropes reader and like old webcomics. That's right, we're talking about Yang Xiaolong from RWBY versus Nanase Kitsune from EGS, the popular webcomic that has nothing to do with an Epic Games Store or a Ghost Squad web animation. Though if you've used TV tropes, you know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you haven't. Okay, yeah. The connection, okay, it's the fight of the deconstructed magical girls. I don't know why I'm doing a ringmaster voice, but I'm going to continue doing it. Okay. I expect this to happen at some point, even if it's not episode 200. For those who do not know, this is a fight. This is a fight between two physically fit women from science fantasy who are young adults after time skips. They are after time skips, they are adults, look it up. Don't go around saying that they're not, because yeah, you need to. If you fell off, it doesn't mean that time didn't pass anyway. They seem fun and cool, but beneath the surface they have struggled to keep their images, and they both had a moment that okay, that's the other side, that left them injured defending their female love interest. These are two queer ladies who are fighting in this hypothetical fight, and they are defending their love interest from a powerful foe. They also gained their superpowers at a young age but had a different perspective on it. Yang thought she was invincible and could do anything. Well, Sanase had to hide her powers because magic is secret, because that's an alternate Earth and not super fantasy world. Boo. Anyway. Okay, let's see. This is actually very interesting. We know that Yang can shatter pillars with her punches and can dent walls. Well, Nanase can disintegrate a whole punching bag and is strong enough. Is that the next part? Okay, it's 6, 7, or 7. Okay, whatever, I'll wing it. And we know she is strong enough to. Oh, there's 8. Okay, there's 7. Okay, 7. Okay, see, these were a bit this. Yang has the technology advantage with her Ember Celica, her shotgun gauntlet boxing glove things, and she has a robot arm. So she would take advantage in the technology, and I do believe that Nanase would initially be confused by dust and how semblances work, because that doesn't exist there, but she would probably adapt pretty quickly. I also think that Yang fights more often, but Nanase is definitely a strategist who flies away from the battle or tries to observe the situation. I mean, we're predicting a death battle, but I mean trying to pacify somebody was always an option in a not death battle fight. And I think there's lawn maintenance people, so now I have to rush through this even faster. Thank you. Okay, burn is her semblance, her special power. She doesn't actually go on fire. She takes hits from other people and then she attributes them to herself. But she doesn't have pain absorption because that's its own power, and she goes, and ouch, that hurts. Yeah. It hurts. She feels the pain. Nanase has magic and anime-style martial arts. She is strong enough to lift a car. She did this to help side character George change a tire. Unfortunately, it was off-panel, but it was funny how she's trying to keep her powers secret, but she thought this was a normal thing that strong people are able to do without superpowers. Yeah, she has a lot more powers than Yang if you think about it. She can float around and fly. She has this hard-to-explain fairy doll thing, which is essentially a clone that she can inhabit. Okay. Yeah. And it leaves her real body open. I'd also like to say before stating that talking about Nanase's strongest spell is like all the other EGS characters, she lives in Moperville, which has a magical field. And it basically has a magical background field. A lot of the powers wouldn't work or be effective in other places, which is a weakness, but I'm assuming that they're going to some interdimensional foresty thing as they both fight people from other dimensions or know of them, so whatever, that's for Death Battle to figure out. Anyway, her strongest spell is the Angel spell, which gives her... okay, well, whatever. I have these disorganized. It gives her lasers, and she has extra super senses, but she can sense power anyway, which she'd be like, Yang power is weird. Yang can sense power too. Anyway, she has like razor sharp wings that shoot out lasers, and is super fast, can fly around. Now, this was only through a specific circumstance to somebody she was sharing the power with, but she theoretically has telepathy, and I don't know if that was just from somebody using the power. It hasn't really been explained. Somebody else used this power. I don't want to do too many spoilers, but used the power too. Copied it. Ellen copied it, so yeah, the character. Anyway, so like, theoretically, if she could mess around with Yang's head, as we saw that she did get possessed in that DC Comics movie Part 2, which is supposed to be considered canon adjacent. Okay, this is going along a long time. Okay, yes. Oh, here's my code word. Like, due to being both attractive, Yang could make in Nanase could make in oboe shoes. You know, a thing you can spell a joke about Yang's attractiveness, and then she gets angry about her appearance. It would be funny if I think that Yang would probably lose and Nanase would win. Anyway, I think it would be funny if Boomstick, given a callback to the last one, was given a go-ahead by Wiz to talk about how attractive Yang is, and then he just decided to move along and talk about her weapons and superpowers instead, and he doesn't even need to, showing his character development too. Anyway, next battle idea: Pac-Man versus Felix the Cat. I came up with this idea on a Twitter poll last year. Maybe it existed before, but I think everyone is copying me. But I don't care because I like this idea, and if other people talk about it, just know that I think I invented this fight idea, and hey, you're welcome. Anyway, old cartoons versus old video games is pretty funny. I'd have to look into specific powers, but I do know that they both have time-traveling things, but Pac-Man eats dots, and they can survive being disintegrated and come back to life, and they can pop out of the arcade machines / the old cartoons. Okay, and they both have time manipulation stuff, but it can backfire on them. I'm not sure it was a Pac-Man World game, but Pac-Man does have a thing where he had some sort of time stop power up in one of the platformers. It might have been Pac-Land, it might have been a Pac-Man World, it might have just been another spin-off platformer thing. But he fell off, and he could still fall into spikes and fall off pits, and Felix the Cat in the Twisted Tales of Felix once had a time travel thing, but it affected him by de-evolving him. And another one, okay, fine, I'm gonna take another two more other ones. Garfield versus Snoopy, I want to see. I think Garfield would win. Snoopy, it would be pretty fun. especially seeing how Snoopy was literally tear gassed that time and has survived outer space. Though it would be interesting to separate his imagination from what actually happens. Another one is Genie versus Samantha Stevens, because I've already talked about that. I just want to see that, and since they started the magical girlfriend and magical girl genre, to see what it would be doing. It would be funny if they did a. I wouldn't mind Lum from Yusori Yusordo or whatever versus Genie, because that would be one of the first imitators. It actually would be pretty funny if they did that, because her standard outfit is based on an outfit that Genie wore in a specific episode. So like they could be at the clothing store and they'd be like, "Hey, you dressed the same as me." Like, "No, you copied me," and they could have a fight. And like, regardless, I'd like to see a lot of magical girl and anime cameos if they ever did one of those as a fight. And I'm done here. Hopefully this was consistent. Was a little bit rushed, but I did spend a lot of time working on this. I appreciate you viewing this video, or just have it on in the background, or just randomly on your page at 3 a.m. looking at other people speculating about DB. And if I know who the characters are, I'll post a short video about the episode 200, and if not, I might anyway if they're interesting enough. Thank you, and have a good day.